Listen to me. Your morning is not just a routine, it's a doorway, and every day you walk through it either tired, distracted, or ready. Some people wake up and rush straight into the noise, then wonder why the whole day feels heavy. But you're here because something inside you knows you can start different. You can rise different, so hear me. The first 30 minutes of your day can shape your entire future. Not because they're magical, but because they set the tone for how you think, how you act, and how you show up in your life. When you claim your morning, you take back your power. When you slow down, breathe, and choose your direction, you stop letting the world tell you who you are. Today, I want you to decide that your morning is yours, not your past, not your stress, not your doubts, yours. And when you stand in that place, even for a few minutes, clarity starts to rise, strength starts to return. You begin your day from the inside out instead of the outside in. If you're ready for a morning that lifts you instead of draining you, stay with me. Let's build it together. When you start your morning with intention instead of rushing, everything changes. Most people open their eyes and jump straight into movement. They grab their phone, check messages, think about problems, and sprint into the day without ever checking in with themselves. It feels normal, but it sets a tone of pressure before anything has even happened. Intention slows that down. It gives you space to choose how you want to show up instead of being pulled in every direction. When you wake up, your mind is open, soft, and easily shaped. Those first minutes decide whether you move forward with focus or fall into the same pattern of reacting to everything around you. Starting with intention doesn't mean making a complicated routine. It means pausing long enough to breathe, to feel your body settling, to notice where your thoughts are trying to run, and gently guiding them instead of chasing them. It's a quiet moment where you remind yourself that this day hasn't been lived yet. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing is demanded from you in this exact moment. You are simply beginning. From that calm starting point, you choose how you want to step into the world. When you rush, your body tightens, your thoughts scatter, and your choices become automatic. You fall into habits that don't support the person you're trying to become. But when you begin with intention, your actions become more deliberate. You move with awareness instead of urgency. Even simple tasks like brushing your teeth, making your bed, or drinking water feel different because you're not doing them half present. You're grounded enough to notice your pace, your breath, and your mindset. Intention also helps you separate your own priorities from other people's expectations. Before messages, responsibilities, and noise come in, you give yourself a moment to decide what truly matters today. That clarity is powerful. It strengthens your confidence, sharpens your decisions, and helps you stay steady when the day gets busy. Instead of getting pulled around by stress, you return to the intention you set. A morning built on intention creates a day built on purpose. It gives you a sense of control that doesn't come from your schedule, but from your inner state. You're not chasing the day anymore. You're leading it. And when you learn to begin your mornings that way, the rest of your life starts to follow that same direction. Taking a moment to breathe and clear mental clutter is one of the simplest things you can do, yet it carries a quiet strength that shapes the rest of your day. When you wake up, your mind is already busy. Thoughts from yesterday, worries about the future, unfinished tasks, and old memories all start talking at the same time. If you don't slow down, you end up carrying all that noise into your morning, and it colors everything you do. But when you pause and breathe with intention, you create a small space where the noise loosens its grip. That space lets you reset, even if life feels heavy. This isn't about perfect meditation or forcing your mind to be silent. It's simply giving yourself permission to arrive in your own body before the day pulls you outward. One slow breath can soften tension you didn't even realize you were holding. Another breath can steady your thoughts just enough for you to feel present. You begin to notice how your mind jumps from one idea to another, how fast your thoughts try to run ahead, and how much pressure you place on yourself before the day even begins. As you breathe, the rush settles and your awareness sharpens. You become more connected to yourself. Clearing mental clutter doesn't happen instantly. It comes from observing your thoughts without letting them take over. You let them appear, you let them move, and you don't chase them. You start to realize that you're not defined by whatever shows up in your head first thing in the morning. Thoughts are just thoughts. They pass through. When you give them room to pass without reacting, your mind naturally becomes lighter. That lightness makes it easier to think clearly, make better choices, and stay calm when things get busy. By creating this small moment each morning, you're telling yourself that your peace matters. You're choosing to begin your day with steadiness instead of chaos. This simple act sets a grounded tone for everything that follows, because a clear mind responds better, listens better, and focuses better. You handle challenges differently when you're not carrying mental weight that doesn't belong to the present moment. And the more consistently you practice this quiet pause, the more you'll notice that your mornings feel spacious, your energy feels cleaner, and your decisions feel more intentional. This small breathing moment becomes a foundation that supports your entire day. Using the first minutes of your day to set direction rather than react to problems shifts your entire mindset. Most people open their eyes and immediately fall into a pattern of responding. They check notifications, think about tasks they haven't done, replay conversations, or stress about what might go wrong. Before they even get out of bed, they're already carrying a weight that doesn't belong to the fresh day in front of them. When you start like that, you're no longer steering your morning. You're being pulled by whatever thought arrives first. But when you choose to use those early moments to set direction, you take ownership of your path before anything else gets a chance to influence it. Setting direction is about asking yourself where you want your energy to go instead of letting problems decide for you. It's a quiet decision you make before stepping into the world. You remind yourself what matters today, what kind of person you want to be, and how you want to handle whatever comes your way. It's not about predicting everything. It's about starting from a place of clarity rather than chaos. When you begin with direction, you stand in control of your mindset. Even if your day becomes busy or unpredictable, you return to the intention you set at the start. That intention becomes a compass. It keeps you from getting lost in distraction, comparison, or unnecessary stress. You're no longer jumping from one urgent thing to another. You're moving with purpose. Challenges still come, but you approach them with more steadiness because you've already chosen your tone for the day. This simple shift shapes your confidence. When the first voice you listen to is your own, you feel grounded. You're not tossed around by every detail or setback because you already know what direction you're heading. Instead of thinking about everything that could go wrong, you focus on what you can actually influence. You take small steps that align with your goal instead of reacting to pressure. The power of direction is not loud. It's quiet, steady, and deeply personal. It reminds you that your day doesn't belong to stress, deadlines, or external noise. It belongs to you. When you start your morning by setting direction, you choose who you want to be before the world tries to choose for you. You enter the day centered, confident, and prepared, and that single shift transforms how you show up in every part of your life. Focusing on gratitude in the morning lifts your mindset in a way that feels steady and real. When you wake up, it's easy for your mind to drift toward what's missing, what's stressful, or what hasn't gone the way you hoped. That current pulls you without warning, and before you've even taken your first step, your mood shifts downward. Gratitude interrupts that current. It reminds you that even in the middle of pressure, there are pieces of your life that are working, supporting you, and helping you grow. Morning gratitude isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about giving attention to what's already good, already present, already holding your life together. When you take a moment to notice even one thing you appreciate, your mind becomes less reactive and more open. You start the day with a softer heart, clearer thoughts, and a quieter sense of strength. Gratitude helps you see your life from a higher angle instead of through the narrow lens of stress. That shift doesn't erase challenges, but it balances them. It gives you space to breathe and think before the day gets busy. As you practice gratitude, you begin to realize how much you overlook. The comfort of a bed, the chance to learn something new, the people who care about you, the small opportunities that appear without you noticing. When you acknowledge these things, even silently, you train your mind to recognize support instead of only scanning for problems. A grateful mindset isn't passive. It fuels motivation. When your heart is in a place of appreciation, you show up with more patience, more focus, and more willingness to try. You feel lighter because you're not starting your day from a place of lack. Gratitude also strengthens emotional resilience. When your mind remembers what's working, setbacks feel less overwhelming. You're less likely to spiral into frustration or negativity because you've already anchored yourself in something steady. This anchor helps you handle conflicts and challenges with more clarity. You don't react as quickly. You respond with more awareness. The beauty of morning gratitude is that it only takes a moment, one thought, one quiet acknowledgement, yet its impact stretches throughout the entire day. It guides your attitude, your tone, your patience, and your confidence. When you choose to focus on gratitude each morning, you start building a mindset that supports your goals instead of working against them. You begin your day lifted, centered, and ready, and that choice changes everything. Giving your mind one clear goal for the day creates a sense of direction that keeps you grounded no matter how busy life gets. When you wake up without a focus, your attention scatters. You move from task to task without feeling connected to any of them, and the day starts to feel heavy. But when you choose one simple, meaningful goal, you give yourself a guiding thread to hold on to. It doesn't have to be impressive. It just needs to matter to you. That single focus brings order to your thoughts and steadiness to your actions. A clear daily goal helps you filter out distractions. Throughout the day, you face a constant pull from messages, responsibilities, and unexpected problems. Without a central point to return to, your energy gets divided and your patience thins. But when you already know what your main goal is, you're less likely to get thrown off by noise around you. You stay anchored. You remind yourself of what you decided in the morning, and that reminder helps you move with intention instead of getting lost in pressure. Having one goal also strengthens your confidence. You're not trying to conquer everything at once. You're choosing something realistic, meaningful, and achievable. When you complete that goal, even if it's small, you create a feeling of progress. That progress builds momentum. You start trusting yourself more. You start feeling capable again. A day that begins with clarity ends with satisfaction because you know exactly what you aim for and why. This simple practice also protects your emotional energy. When your mind has too many priorities, stress increases and focus decreases. But narrowing your attention cuts through the mental noise. It helps you think clearly and act deliberately. It's easier to stay calm when you're not juggling 10 different expectations. A clear goal creates a sense of order that supports both productivity and peace. Most importantly, choosing one goal each morning reminds you that you have a say in how your day unfolds. Life may bring challenges, but you're not drifting, you're choosing. You're deciding how you want to show up and what you want to contribute. Each day becomes a small step in a direction that matters to you. This habit shapes your mindset, your discipline, and your confidence. It turns your morning into a moment of personal leadership, and that leadership carries you through the rest of the day with purpose and strength. Protecting your morning energy from unnecessary distraction sets the tone for a calmer and more productive day. The moment you wake up, your mind is at its freshest. Your thoughts are clearer, your emotions are softer, and your focus hasn't been scattered yet. But the minute you dive into messages, notifications, or other people's demands, that quiet space disappears. You start reacting instead of choosing. Protecting your morning energy means guarding that early peace long enough to strengthen yourself before the world pulls you into its noise. This protection begins with awareness. You start noticing what drains you before you've even stood up. It might be scrolling, comparing yourself to others, checking stressful updates, or immediately thinking about problems. These habits feel small, but they shift your mood in seconds. When you avoid them, your mind stays centered. You give yourself room to breathe and settle into the day with clarity. That clarity becomes the foundation for how you think and act. When you protect your morning energy, you also become more selective about what you allow into your emotional space. The early hours of the day are sensitive. Your mind absorbs things quickly, so even a minor distraction can shape your tone without you realizing it. Instead of reacting to everything, you give yourself time to connect with your own thoughts first. You choose what deserves your attention and what doesn't. That choice strengthens your confidence because you're leading your day, not chasing it. This practice isn't about isolation. It's about intentional space. You're giving yourself a clean mental environment free from unnecessary noise. With that space, your priorities become clearer. Your focus becomes sharper. You move with more patience and less tension. You respond to situations with a calm mind instead of a scattered one. Challenges feel easier to handle because your mind hasn't been exhausted before the day even begins. Protecting your morning energy also improves your emotional balance. You're less likely to feel rushed or overwhelmed because you haven't overloaded your mind. You start your day with a sense of control that comes from being present, not distracted. And that presence influences the rest of your day. You notice more, you appreciate more, you handle more. By guarding your morning energy, you honor your well-being. You give yourself the chance to enter the day with strength, clarity, and intention. It's a simple shift, but it transforms how you show up in every moment that follows. Speaking to yourself with encouraging and grounded thoughts sets the emotional tone for your entire day. The moment you wake up, your mind begins sorting through ideas, doubts, and expectations. Some of those thoughts lift you. Some try to pull you into old patterns. If you don't guide that inner voice, it can drift toward worry or self-criticism without you even noticing. But when you speak to yourself with calm, supportive, and steady words, you shape your mindset before the world has a chance to shape it for you. This isn't about hyping yourself up or pretending everything is perfect. It's about giving yourself a balanced and honest message that reminds you of your strength. Simple words like, I can handle what comes today, or I'm moving one step at a time. Shift your mindset from pressure to purpose. Encouraging self-talk helps you stay grounded. It gently redirects your mind away from fear and toward clarity. When you start your day hearing your own steady voice, you move with more confidence because your foundation is stronger. Most people underestimate how powerful their inner dialogue is. One negative thought in the morning can affect your mood for hours. It changes how you interpret situations, how you react to challenges, and how you treat yourself. But when you choose to speak with kindness, your emotional state becomes more balanced. You begin the morning with a calmer heart. You carry a different type of energy into your conversations, your decisions, and your work. You're not fighting yourself internally, you're supporting yourself. Encouraging self-talk also builds resilience. When setbacks appear, you respond with more patience because you've already anchored your mindset. You remind yourself that it's okay to move slowly. That progress is still progress, that you're capable of handling the day without rushing or panicking. These thoughts act like a cushion between you and stress. They don't remove challenges, but they soften the impact. Over time, this practice strengthens your relationship with yourself. You begin to trust your own voice more. You start choosing thoughts that guide you instead of discourage you. Your mornings feel lighter because you're not waking up to a storm of criticism or fear. You're waking up to steady guidance. And when you speak to yourself in that calm, supportive way each morning, you set a tone of strength that follows you through every part of the day. Building a simple morning routine that helps you feel aligned and steady brings structure to your day in a calm and natural way. When your mornings have no shape, you drift from one action to another without feeling centered. You wake up, move through tasks, and hope the day organizes itself. But when you create a small, consistent routine, even if it's only a few minutes long, you give your mind and body something familiar to settle into. That familiarity creates stability. It gives you a sense of control before the business begins. A simple routine doesn't need to look impressive. It can be quiet, personal, and flexible. What matters is that it reflects what supports you. Maybe it's a few deep breaths, a glass of water, a moment of gratitude, or a short reflection on your goals. These actions may look small, but they help you begin your day from a grounded place instead of jumping straight into pressure. Each step signals to your mind that you're starting intentionally, not randomly. This intention shapes your attitude, your focus, and your emotional balance. A steady routine also reduces decision fatigue. When you wake up and already know the first few things you'll do, your mind relaxes. You don't waste energy figuring out where to begin. You move smoothly from one step to the next. That early sense of order carries into the rest of your day. You're more organized, more patient, and more aware of your priorities because you didn't start the morning scattered. What makes a simple routine so powerful is how it builds consistency. You may not control everything that happens in your day, but you can control how you begin. Over time, this builds trust in yourself. You start to feel more reliable, more focused, and more connected to your goals. Even on tough mornings, your routine becomes a place of stability. It helps you return to yourself when life feels overwhelming. A morning routine also supports emotional well-being. The act of doing something nurturing for yourself, even for a few minutes, reminds you that your peace matters. It gives you a moment of quiet before responsibilities start calling. That quiet helps you think more clearly, respond more thoughtfully, and move through your day with a calmer spirit. When you build a simple routine that steadies your mind and aligns your focus, you're not just creating morning habits, you're shaping your entire day. You're giving yourself a reliable foundation to stand on, and that foundation becomes a source of strength that carries you forward with intention and clarity. As you step into your day, remember that everything you've heard isn't about perfection, it's about awareness. It's about choosing how you begin instead of letting the world choose for you. Your morning is the first chapter of your day, and you have the power to write it with purpose, clarity, and calm. Even small changes in these early moments create a quiet strength that follows you everywhere you go. If today feels heavy, start small. If today feels hopeful, hold on to that feeling. And if today feels uncertain, remind yourself that you're still the one steering your direction. Your breath, your thoughts, your focus, and your routine shape the energy you carry. You don't need to rush. You don't need to chase. You simply need to begin with intention. So take these ideas with you and let them guide your steps. Let your morning be the place where you reconnect with yourself, where you set your tone, where you rise steady and grounded. The day ahead is waiting for you and you're ready for it. Thank you.